Welcome back guys, Slapper here. Welcome back to another video in our series looking at the Steel Faith Overhaul Grimhammer II changes, specifically the unit changes we have moved over to looking at. Now we're going to try and get through this one a bit faster than the last one. The last one was an hour and a half, which is quite long listening to me talk about numbers and stuff, I thought. Yes, but it was what it was. Slightly less units in the Dark Elves. We are doing Dark Elves, in case you couldn't tell. Slightly less units in the Dark Elf roster than there is in the Lizardmen roster, but not a lot. I think it was 67 as opposed to like 75 units. So not a huge reduction, but a couple less. So we are actually starting on Lockyer Fellheart, which is their dude, of course, because this unit here is specific to him only. So it's not available to the standard Dark Elf roster, but again, it is available to him. So it is a legendary unit of Corsairs, that's what it is. So let's bring up the actual Corsair unit if we can. That's that one. It's just so we can compare it to the standard Corsair unit. 45 models versus 60, so it's a lot lower in that sense. A couple of 1600 extra health, 5 more armor, 5 more leadership. Speed's the same. Melee attack is way higher at plus 15. Melee defense at plus 5. Weapon strength at plus 2. Armor piercing, anti-infantry. No armor piercing or anti-infantry on that one. 10, 30, and 10 bonus versus infantry on that, so that's quite nice. Charge bonus at plus 10 as well. Ammo the same. Range is actually less, and missile damage on range is less, but I think they don't have armor piercing. Actually, their damage is quite buffed. Oh, we'll look at that later anyway. So their armor piercing range damage 38. That's not bad. It's not bad. We have missile resist, causes fear. We have the encourage ability, hide. We have strider, immune to psychology, far while moving. We also have murderous mastery. When a unit has not exceeded the murderous prowess value, which is the number across the top you see it in battles whenever you're playing Dark Elves and stuff like that. When they have not got to that, this is the bonus he gets. Plus 40 charge, plus 40 armor piercing, plus 40 melee attack. This is percentages. 10 leadership, straight 10%. 30% vigor, minus 10 melee, and can fear. Well, he can fear anyway, so that one's kind of irrelevant. And Dreadful Raiders. So leadership is broken, plus 10 leadership. Sorry, cannot use if leadership is broken, so it's basically on all the time otherwise. No, it's a buff. 30-second buff. Take that back. 30-second buff. 10 leadership can cause terror. What I will do to you. What? That's different. Plus 10% speed and minus 10 leadership. Nice. So that is the legendary unit for those guys. Very cool. Right, let's jump over and let's have a look at our next unit. Our next unit is actually the first hero edition that we've come across. So Black Arc Reaver. So this is a melee specialist. He has Sea Dragon Cloak. I can't remember exactly what it does. Provides a very light yet incredibly sturdy material for armor. I think it's just a way of saying that he's relatively quick, but he has strong armor as well. I think it's just like that. He has very fast attacks. I cannot see the attack speed, unfortunately. He's a duelist, which makes him very good at one-on-one fighting. A Murderous Mastery, which again is the buff that we were looking at just before. Nope, it's Murderous Mastery, which is, I guess, is the same one that everybody gets for the Dark Elf straight across the board. 3.4k health, essentially. Let's just compare him to an assassin. It's about the same. It's about the same as a master. So it's on the similar plane as the other guys as well. Huge armor there, though. 110, leadership at 75, speed 40. So yeah, he is fast and well armored. He does have bleed debuff, which is good. Melee attack 50, melee defense 50. Pretty good for a stock standard lord. 350 armor piercing damage, a charge bonus of 50. He comes in with missile resist, can cause fear, encourage, hide. Murderous Mastery, there it is as well. So yeah, so when the main one's not running, he runs that one as well. So that's that one. And we have No Mercy. So if he's winning, he gets extra damage. Oh, nice. And can cause fear. Well, they can always cause fear anyway, so that one's kind of whatever. Strength through Spite. He's constant. Affects him and allies within range. Plus 5 melee attack, plus 5 weapon damage as well. He also has a net ability. Oh, that's good, obviously, if he's trying to chase somebody, I guess, because he doesn't actually have range to actually do anything. Sorry, I'm just literally putting my cup down in the noisiest way possible. Hope you boys have a cuppa. If you don't, go get one. Pause the video, go get a cuppa. We'll be still here when you come back. I've got mine because I freaking need it when you talk for an hour. Right, let's go. That's him. Right, next actual unit. Sorry, I'm just looking. Let's do Ice Blades next because that one sounds cool. Ice Blades is... it just replaces the Bleak Swords. Yeah, okay. So yes, it's a new unit, but it does replace one of the existing regiments of renown, so we will have a look at it while we're here. Let's bring out the standard Bleak Swords as well, because again, this is a regiment of renown. So shielded, anti-infantry, charge defense against all, and he has a magical aura. His health at 9825, which is about 800 more than the standard Bleak Sword. Bleak Swords would have been buffed as well. 75 models, again, they may have been buffed, we'll have a look shortly. Armor at 78, but golden shielded, and how much is his one? 70% chance, it's ridiculous. 70% chance of blocking missiles, or yeah, 70% missiles blocked. Leadership coming in, sorry, get that back. Leadership coming in at 80, which is more than a standard Bleak Sword unit. Speed's the same. Damage is actually slightly less, but he does have that. I assume that's ice. Yeah, frostbite, so it slows units by 40%. Thank you. Melee defense plus 20, 56 melee defense on a unit that cannot be shot from range. That's insanely good. This guy's such a tank. Weapon strength is at 28. His charge bonus is at 20. He as well has missile resist. He has charge defense hide. He has Murderous Mastery as well. So that's his constant aura, which is a minus 40% speed to any enemy unit within 40 meters of him. That's crazy good. And if he's winning as well, he gets 10% more armor piercing damage, 10% more weapon damage, and can cause fear. That's a really strong unit, man. That's really strong. We will compare it to the standard version of this one as well. So let's have a look at that. The standard Regiment of Renown version, that is, not the standard unit. All right, Manticore Lords. They're so good. Let's bring up a standard unit of Manticores just to compare. So this is a lethal unit as well. He has lethal poison, which is the half version of actual poison, so 10% damage reduction and stuff like that. He does have frenzy. Serves only Malekith. Right. 1 model versus 3 models. Ooh, that's a big buff, man. 7,500 health as well, but that's actually less health per unit than a standard Manticore. Manticore's 5k each, because only one. And these guys are obviously 2,500 each. Armor is 26, silver shielded. Standard Manticore does not have shields. And that's coming at 60%. So freaking good. It's so good. It's so good. Leadership at plus 80, so he's not routing anytime soon. Speed at 95, really fast. Melee attack at 60, really fast. Not going to miss. He does have that lethal poison. So again, so that's minus 10% across the board. Somebody with normal poison, please. So we should just show you. Oh, they got that checked us. So that's just standard poison coming at 20%. And his is lethal, obviously coming in at 10%. Melee defense at 25. It's actually a 15 reduction from the standard Manticore. That's a lot of reduction, actually. He's going to take quite a bit of damage. Weapon strength at 150. It's minus 350 there, but you're comparing 1 model against 3, so it's 150 per model. So that's actually 450. So it's actually 150 higher than a standard Manticore, even though it doesn't look like it is. And it's armor piercing, so that actually helps a lot as well. Plus they have a wee charge bonus there of plus 15. Very nice. So missile resist, he has siege attacker, which means he can break down walls and stuff. Causes fear, causes terror, disciplined, so he does not suffer leadership penalties when the Lord and that dies. He has more Murderous Mastery as well. He's got their frenzy buff. He has no mercy as well. He has poison bombs. Whoa. So bombardment around him causes actual poison damage, so the 20% one. Nice, we have to try that out. And Death Fist, which is an enemy within 10 meters of him, so it's very short cast range. Target if it's got to be a hero or a lord. Direct damage on use and causes damage to combatants. So these guys are really designed for taking out lords, I think, just from reading all that. And that is us as far as the new units go. Nice. So if we can bring up, there we are. So we'll bring ourselves back up to the top and let's get comparing. How far in are we? 10 minutes already? Jeepers creepers. It goes so fast. Right. I don't think I've missed any of this time, but don't shoot me if I have. Right, let's go. I'm not going to mathesize anything. We're going to try and get through this within at least an hour if we can. That'd be lovely. Right, so high Beastmasters, both anti-large, both charge defense. New version has a couple of hundred more health, 10 more armor. Same leadership, same speed, is same melee attack, but he's got a buff there. We'll have a look at it in a second. He's got a melee defense. Sorry, take that off. Melee defense is the same. Weapon strength is actually less than the standard version, interestingly enough. 440 versus 375. He's got a charge bonus of 45. So what is that buff? Overwhelm. So it reduces, it's like a poison or something. So it reduces the weapon damage by 40%, reload skill by 40%, and armor piercing damage by 40%. Oh, that's actually really good. Minus 40% weapon damage, that's crazy. So we have missile resist, same. I'm just going to call them if they're different. Same. Something's different though. Something's different. What do I miss? That's the same. It's that one. So he has no mercy, which is a new buff for him as well. So that's quite nice. Right, moving along, boys. Dreadlord. It's a crossbow. Yeah, no, that's one. Sword and crossbow. Yep. Nice. Right. So armored, armor piercing, still the same. Health. 500 more on the new variant, 10 more armor. Leadership, same speed, 1 more speed. Melee attack 70, up from 60, it's quite a big buff. Melee defense is the same. He's got armor piercing damage now, which is a nice change. Charge bonus at 35, ammo at 45, so 5 extra ammo. Range is the same. He's got 833 missile damage as opposed to 333. What a big buff that is. That is absolutely massive for us. So all that stuff is identical, except for no mercy in there as well. Everything else is exactly the same. Nice. So another Dreadlord. So that's identical? Nope, different. Different. Sword and shield versus sword and crossbow. Yeah, okay, cool. So we're looking. 500 more health. Nice. Gold shielded coming in at 70% block plus 108 armor versus 90, so way harder to hit. Leadership is the same. Speed, all good. Melee attack, 5 more. Not massive. Weapon strength at 425 plus 25. Again, not massive, but you know, any buff to that is probably good. And again with this, no mercy, and he has flow of battle as well, which is a buff from self. Oh no, affects allies within a 40 meter radius as well. Speed 20% and vigor 10%. The vigor buff is going to be the biggest thing there. So all these sorceresses are going to be the same, except for obviously their School of Magic, but we're not going to be looking at that. That's lock here, please. I wish they would have just left them in the same order, but that's fine. We can jump back. Right, so the sorceresses. Slightly more health. Well, I shouldn't say slightly. It's 400. That's quite a bit of a buff, actually. Armor's identical. Speed's identical. Melee attack slightly more, coming at 45. Also magic, which is quite nice. Weapon defense is identical. All the rest of the stuff is the same, except for charge, which you're looking at plus 5. I'm assuming we have this added. We do. And that's really all the changes as far as the casters go, which is so contingent right across there. So let's jump back on that one, which is Lockyer. So this is the first legendary lord that we've come across, so it should be quite a few changes with him. All that's identical. The top 300 more health, so about 10% more. Armor's identical. Leadership, speed, 5 more melee attack, 25 more weapon strength plus armor piercing, which is a massive change, like absolutely massive. And then it looks like he's been given a few more spells and stuff as well, because all that's identical. So that's new. Yes, it's the same. Not seeing that. So yeah, he's been given access to, oh, that's identical. So he's been given access to a net and new bombardment, Kane's Lash. Not just double checking that it's not on the other one. No, can't see it. So it's a bombardment ability, lasts for 20 seconds. Wow, it's a really long time. Single bolt of magic lightning, small strike area, strong versus multiple, good against artillery. I can't last 20 seconds. Remember, it takes 20 seconds to cast. Weak versus single. Debuffs minus 20% speed, minus 5 melee attack, minus 10 melee defense. Very good. Alright, let's jump over. Let's get past all those sorceresses. And we're on to the crone. Again, these aren't in the same order. Let's just do them in the order that I've got them. Kind of makes it easy. Alright, the crone. Another legendary lord, of course. Armor piercing. Well, is that the same? It is the same person, right? Jeez, that's a lot of changes. So armor piercing, anti-infantry. She's been given faster attacks and she's been given bleed. They've removed dodge, but it may still be there in the background. We just can't see it. Right. Way more health. That's like 700. Armor is the same. Leadership is the same. Speed is the same. Again with a 5 melee attack, but she's they've replaced poison with bleed. So that's actually a nerf, because bleed's not as good as the poison. Melee defense has been reduced as well, down to 45 from 48. Her damage has been increased, however, up to 500 from 470. So not a massive buff, but again, every buff is a buff, right? She has 25% physical. It's all identical. Again, with the no mercy in there, it's identical. And she has been given nothing else. That's it. Kind of a whatever, right, really, as far as that go. Malice Darkblade. The newest of the legendary lords, of course. Still have not finished that campaign. Got to get that done. Transformation, armored, armor piercing, melee expert, all identical. 300 more health, about 10% more. Armor coming with another 10. This one's going to be hard to balance because he's obviously quite brand new. Actually, it's probably hasn't been changed, right? The armor has, though. Speed has. Oh, yeah, it has been changed a little bit. Speed at +4. I mean, nothing else has really changed. I wouldn't imagine it will, because, like I say, he's only just new. That's a newer version of the murderous thingy. Transformation. Yeah, and everything else is identical. That's fine. Wouldn't have expected that one to change too much. Malekith. One of the originals, of course. 500 more health. Can I take that off? Yep, 500 more health. He's given a golden shield plus 108 armor. 70% on his one as well. Speed lost 1, but doesn't really matter because he gets a dragon. 73 on the melee attack. Quite a bit of a buff for him. Plus 8, plus he's been given burnt, which anybody he hits gets a -8 leadership. His melee defense has actually been reduced down to 48 from 55. Weapon damage a slight increase up to 425. And that's about it on his. It'll be the same, the Murderous Prowess and stuff. Yeah. Nothing else has really changed on his, no. So, not a huge deal of changes to the Lords so far, really. Did I have 2 Malekiths? I did. Oh, I've missed something then. I have. What have I missed? Morathi. Man, can I do it where I just don't miss one? Yeah, I did. Oh, damn. There, you can see I've tried to get it on that. Oh, I don't know if you can see it actually, but I tried to get it on that one, but I couldn't. Ah, suck. Right. Sorry, let's move along. Alright, Death Hag. This isn't obviously the heroes section. She's been given bleed to replace poison. Extra health and a 500 health, that's quite big. Well, that's identical. 6% speed increase. Interesting. So 8% buff to a melee attack as well. Up to 70. That's a huge amount of melee attack. But she did lose that poison. So the reduction in melee attack speed and all that type of stuff that she's losing... She's probably on the nerfing side of that, to be honest. Everything else looks quite identical. Obviously, she's been given that. No mercy. I'm noticing a theme here. There's not a lot of changes, really, as far as these guys are concerned. Stalk, good against gate. Duelist poison is the same. Extra health, an extra 400 or something. -1 on the speed. Plus 10 on the melee attack. This guy's... a hybrid dude, remember, range and melee. So plus 80 melee attack, that's crazy good. But it's on the opposite side, there's lost 7 melee defense. 400 damage from 350, plus it's got armor piercing now, which is really good. Charge bonus plus 2 on that. Ammo, 5 extra ammo. His range has been increased massively from 70 to 120, and the damage has been increased from 800 with poison, mind you, to 111. And he's lost the poison effect on the range as well. I was just double checking to make sure it did actually go away. So he's lost some buffs as well. He's not vanguardable anymore. That's kind of annoying. He's been given that, of course. That's normal. And he's been given a smoke bomb. Nice. That's a nice wee change. I don't know about the poison on range. We use him mainly as a range lord. He's got the poison on the melee still, but yeah, on the range. I mean, I guess he's still going to be a ranged lord with that kind of range damage, right? Because I mean, that's quite a lot. But still. All good. 500 extra health has been given a 70%. Yeah, so they're all 70. Yeah, okay. So extra shield plus extra armor. Speed is slightly increased by +1. Melee attack is up to 40, and he also has Calvary Bane, which is the minus 75% acceleration, and the 25% charge bonus debuff, obviously onto the enemy. Melee defense has been buffed dramatically up to 61 from 50. Slightly more damage coming at 375. Still armor piercing, still anti-large. Intent. No, that one's already there. No mercy. And Indomitable, which is a buff from self, 20% physical and 20 melee defense. Very good. Right, we're into the Sorceresses. So they're all going to be the same. Obviously the spells will be the only difference there, so it doesn't actually matter which one we pick. So 500 more health, which is quite a big buff for them. It's about 20% more. Speed +1. Melee attack massively buffed, up to 47 plus being magical. Melee defense has been reduced down to 28. Damage is the same. Charge bonus is at +20. They have Murderous anyway. No mercy is new for them. And again, just the spell school. Now this other one is the Blackout Corsairs, which is the one we looked at before. Very good. Right, we're into the actual units. That kind of chewed through that quite quickly, didn't we? Good work, Sly. Good work. Keep it going. So 75 models, down from 90. That's quite a buff. Although the opposite of that is their health has been increased to 9,000 from 5,600. So less models but way more health. Excuse me. Their armor has also been increased up to 65. Still silver shields. Leadership +2 on that. Speed +2, also +6 on their melee attack, which is quite a big buff for these guys. Melee defense also +6. Weapon strength at 38, so +10 on that. That's a big buff. And they have been given missile resist to 5, and they've been given the no mercy buff as well. So as long as they're winning extra, practically. As long as you're on the plus side, you're doing well. So Dread Spears have been reduced as well, down to 75 models from 90. But again, their health has actually been increased dramatically as well, almost doubled. Their armor has indeed been doubled up to 65. Actually over doubled, yeah. Leadership again +2, speed +2 as well. Melee attack a massive buff on there, up to 38 from 25. Countering that though, their melee defense down to 36 from 40. Weapon strength, massive buff again, up to 36. Almost 50% more damage. Charge bonus has been increased as well, and they have been given the no mercy buff and the missile resist as well. Nice. Blackout Corsairs. It's a pretty decent wee unit, this one. So there, again, models have been reduced down to 60 from 75, but their health has been increased. Not as much as the other guys, up to 7.5 though, still decent. Armor's also been increased up to 95. Leadership increased as well, up to 70. Speed is the same. Melee attack up to 45 from 36, that's a big buff as well. Melee defense, slight increase as well, but +2 up to 30. Damage +12. Oof. Up to 40, charge bonus up to 20 from 16, and we have no mercy and missile resist of 10% on those guys added as well. The Hell Baroni Spears, really. They don't exist on my list. No? They should do. Bet they don't. Looks like they've removed them. Or they were never added in this. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll skip those. That's the Regiment of Renowned Spearmen, of course. Right, Death Eggs. Death Eggs. Anti-infantry, menace dodge, that's all the same. Again, models reduced down to 60, slightly more health. Armor's negligible anyway. Speed, +6 on there. 55 melee attack up from 38, that's a huge buff. They've still got the madness as well. 26, 45 weapon damage as well, up from 32. +13 on that. Charge bonus, man, that's doubled, over doubled, up to 50. So they're going to be real good on a charge, these guys now, girls, I should say. They've been given missile resist as well. They've also been given strong vigor, which obviously is very nice. And no mercy on top of that as well. So Regiment of Renown, Sisters of the Slaughter. Right, so they're... Oh man, they're almost half the units, down to 45 from 75, so minus 30. But again with a plus health. No, not a massive one this time either. It's only like 1500 or something on top of that. 3 leadership speed plus 6 coming in at 50. Melee attack up to 70. Oh, it's a massive jump. Melee defense up to 36 from 34. Damage up to 55 as well. Charge bonus up to 50 as well. Again, you know, these guys are going to be girls again. Are going to be massive on the charge. Missile resist has been added. Strong vigor has also been added. And they have no mercy. And they have a hex that's around them constant. Now it's a 60-second duration, 60-meter radius, minus 25 melee defense on enemy units. That's crazy good, actually. Crazy, crazy good. Sisters of the Slaughter, let's go back that way. Bleed, Defender, Dodge, Murderous Mastery. What have they lost? Defender. No, that's there. Bleed. They've been given Bleed and again in replace of the poison. So again, it's actually a slight nerf, I think. So reduction in models as well, down to 60 from 75, again with the plus health. Plus 5 armor up to plus 10, so they've been doubled in their armor. I guess that's good. Or not, I don't know. It's kind of relevant, I think, plus 5 armor. Leadership has been reduced down to 75 from 82. Speed increased up to 50. Melee attack's actually been nerfed quite dramatically. That 37 down to 35, but then the bleed and the poison trade-off is quite bad. The melee defense has actually been increased up to 63 from 59. Weapon strength quite nicely now is armor piercing at 40 as opposed to 38, and charge bonus coming at 35 as well. They've been given, again with the missile resist, the strong vigor as well. And no mercy for them as well. Nice. Alright, we're getting up into the big boys now. This is top tier Dark Elf infantry we're looking at. Scaling damage, that's something new. The amount of damage this unit causes increases based on the amount of hit points the target has lost. Oh, nice. I quite like that. A lot of units should run that way. So 75 models down to 45, so massive reduction. But again with the increase in health up to almost 8.5. 5 more armor. 85 leadership, 5 more speed coming at 36, melee attack up to 60 from 38. Oh, that's such a big buff. Melee defense has been reduced, so down to 30 from 34. Let's go, whatever. Damage has increased massively as well, up to 70 from 42, and charge bonus up to 40 from 24. We have the missile resist added. They can cause fear now as well. And we've got the no mercy, and we have Execute, which is, it's a constant buff around him as long as his hit points are over 20%. Sorry, this only affects enemies if their hit points is under 20%. Cannot target if hit points is greater than 20%. Yes, and disabled if the attribute unit itself's leadership is below 50%. So this is an execute. So minus 5 leadership, minus 5 melee defense. Although with an execute ability, I would have liked to see something like, you know, they do 10% more damage or something like that, or that unit that they're attacking takes 10% more damage, something like that, you know. Something like that. Right, we're into the Blackguard of Nagarond, the other top tier infantry unit for the Dark Elves, of course. Again, down to 45 models from 75 with the increase in health, almost 2k on those guys, just under. Extra armor coming in at 120. Leadership has been reduced slightly, down to 85. Speed increased slightly. Melee attack up to 50 from 36, which is a big buff. Plus they have the Calvary Bane. I mean, they are an anti-large, so it kind of makes sense. Melee defense up to 50 from 48. Damage increase up to 65. Nice. And charge bonus up to 20. Then given the missile resist, they can now cause fear. Sons of Nagarond. Target a lord or a hero and make them unbreakable. That sounds pretty decent. And no mercy as well. Very nice. Blades of the Blood Queen. Ooh, I need to sneeze. Oh, it's an awkward silence now, isn't it, Sly? Thanks. Right, Blades of the Blood Queen. They're actually still at 75 models. One of the first ones that we've come across it there. Their health is, to go along with the same models, their health has almost doubled. Nice. They have the scaling damage as well. Armor plus 5, leadership plus 3. Speed at +5, melee attack up to 50 as well, although they're on 48 anyway, so it's about the same. Melee defense has actually been reduced, though, down to 35 from 43. Damage is almost doubled up to 70. Still anti-large, anti-infantry, armor piercing, very nice. Charge bonus up to 40 as well. Missile resist added, can cause fear. Given no mercy, and they've been given the execute ability as well, and they are a guardian-based unit as well. Nice. Right, down to the shades stuff, boy. Yep, we're getting there. We're getting there. Sorry, I kind of cut myself off there. Down into the shades stuff, boys. This is the dark space, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the shades change, actually. One of my favourite units, as you guys know. So the models have actually been increased up to 75, 6k health. Armor +20, leadership +8, quite a bit. Speed at +3, melee attacks have been buffed quite substantially up to 30 from 16. Melee defense is up to 20. Weapon strength is up to 31. These guys have been really changing to more like a hybrid unit than a range, like a pure range. Charge bonus at 15, ammo at 24, 140 range, 33 armor piercing damage, massive, with a missile resist of 5, and they get the buff. It's only for melee, so yeah, they have been kind of changing to like a more hybrid based unit. Then we've got the same dudes, but with shields, so it should be pretty much identical, but shielded. So I'll compare them to the other ones, not the original. So the armor is +8 over the standard, -10 melee attack though, +11 melee defense. I guess that's accountable by the shields. Charge bonus of -5 and -9 melee attack. -9 range damage. Wow. I mean, normally like in a standard campaign, you just take the shielded version because they're just so much better, but the unshielded version here just does way more range damage, and that's the whole reason you're taking them. So I mean, as long as you're not fighting like elves or something, because of the shield, you know, the unshielded version is the way to go. Blackout Corsairs. I only really use these if you're playing old squig face, aren't you? Yeah. Right, so models have been reduced down to 60 from 75 as well. More health though, which is always good. Armor +15, leadership at +4, speed's the same, melee attack at 40 and 30 versus 32 and 24 respectively, weapon strength +10 coming up to 38, charge bonus +3, irrelevant, ammo an extra 4 ammo up to 20, range is up to 75, kind of irrelevant. Their damage has been increased massively though, up to 44, and their armor bonus, which is large actually, from 22, so it's 50% more damage, 100% more damage, sorry. Plus I've got an anti-large bonus on 6 as a component of that. Those numbers don't equal 44. 8 + 4 + 6 does not equal... times 2. 12, it still doesn't equal it, does it? No. 8 + 4 is 12. Plus 6 is 18 times 2 would be 36, mate. Damage value is damage over 10 seconds. Okay. Oh, because they can do that twice over... Okay, it kind of makes sense, I guess. Doesn't it? Yeah. No, it doesn't. I mean, I guess it does. 5.4, so it's not exactly twice. Because what it is it's the 8 plus the 4, which is 12, obviously. 2 projectiles, so that's 24. Almost twice in a 10-second period. If it was twice, it'd be 48. But it's 5.4 seconds, and then obviously there's a +6 versus large times 2, so it's an extra 12 damage versus large per volley, but you can fire twice in 10 seconds. Man, they just made that way more complicated than it needed to be. Missile resist is at... missile resist has been added for them as well. That's all the same, and they've been given no mercy as well. Very nice. The Bolt Fiends, which is a regiment renowned version of these, so we'll just compare them to those ones, shall we? Because that's what you'll be comparing them to in game. So still 75 models apiece. Yep, still 75 models apiece. -3 armor. That's interesting. Leadership at +5. Melee defense at -5. Charge bonus at -5. +2 ammo. +10 range. +17 damage. Plus they have shield breaker. Yep, which is a -24% missile parry. And that's it compared to the standard one. So they're more along the lines with them, right? Although, I mean, you would take them as a range contingent as opposed to these guys, which seem to just be better now, honestly. They do. Right, let's move along to some shades. Let's go, boys. We love us some shades. Alright, so out here seeing Vanguard Stalk, still 60 units, 6.6k health up from 5, 45 armor, leadership up to 70, speed is basically the same at 42, 42, melee attack up to 40, identical, melee defense up to 35 from 32, weapon strength up to 40, charge bonus up to 20 from 16, ammo up to 22, range slightly reduced down to 120, up to 44 damage, armor piercing still, very good. They have missile resist, they now have strider, they now have immune to psychology, they now have unstoppable, they now they have that anyway, they now have no mercy. Right, now let's look at the variants. I'll bring the variants up because you guys can have a look, but I won't talk to them because I'll be talking to the ones here. So this is shades with dual weapons. So identical across the board, except they have higher charge bonus and their range is actually at 55. And they have bleed as opposed to not bleed. Yep. Do these guys have... Oh, they have anti-infantry as well, which is a bonus of 10 versus infantry. So that's quite nice. Honestly, I mean, the cost increase, you can't see it, but there is obviously a cost increase. Oh, you can. I mean, that's battle cost, but still. I don't know if they're worth using. Usually by the time you get these dudes, these guys are like all rank 7, 8, 9, right? So there's no real point in changing over unless these guys get wiped out. So we'll do the same for the great swords. Compared to the standard shades. So same health and everything. Melee attack is at +5 though. Weapon strength has actually been increased at up to 50, plus its armor piercing. No bonus versus infantry though. Nope. And range has actually been reduced down to 20, but they have, is that frostbite or something? Stagger shot. Minus 50% speed. That's actually very handy for obviously kiting. Melee defense and missile resist. Everything else looks identical across the board. Oh, sorry, I didn't bring them up either. There they go. So, honestly, I think I kind of get the feeling like the normal shades are just better, like way better. And the other ones, yes, they are slight improvements over a standard shade unit, but unless, like I say, unless your shades have been wiped out and they don't have ranks, I wouldn't bother replacing them. It's just not enough of a buff, you know, compared to a standard shade unit. I just keep my normal shades. Thanks, mate. That's fine. Right, moving into Calvary. Dark Riders have been given a bonus of anti-infantry. Nice. Same models. Health has an extra 2,500. Crikey. Armor's up by 5. Leadership is up by 5. Also, speed is up to 100 from 92. Melee attack is up to 37 from 24. It's a big buff. Melee defense is roughly the same at 25 from 22. The weapon strength up to 34 plus a 10 bonus versus infantry and a charge bonus of plus 70. Missile resist is at +5. They always were vanguardable, and they also have the no mercy. So that's quite a nice rebuff for those dudes, and they might actually be worth using. They're cheap too, like real cheap. Same again, but the shielded variant. So let's just compare to the standard unit. So obviously shielded, bronze shield, +5 armor. Bronze shield is how much? 45 in this. So it's still quite a big, 45% damage reduction is huge. -5 melee attack, but +5 melee defense. So just exchanging attack for defense, and that's really the changes as far as those dudes go. Really nice. Cold One Knights. Okay, let's go over to those boys. So armor shielded, armor piercing. They lost their primal instincts, which means they can't rage anymore, which is actually a buff. Health points has been almost doubled up to 86. It's actually been doubled, exactly. It's been, yes it is. More armor and from bronze shields up to silver shields. So very good, up to 60% from the standard in-game bronze is 35 up to, what did I say, 65 or 60? 60, so still a massive buff there. Leadership at 75, 70 on the speed as opposed to 66. Melee attack, massive increase up to 40. Melee defense 32. A little bit extra damage coming in at 50, and charge bonus of 55 there as well, which makes sense. They've been given no mercy, and they've been given perfect vigor and the missile resist as well. One thing that the Dark Elf cavalry always lacked was like actual stats. Like the melee attack, melee defense was always garbage on the Dark Elf cavalry. It looks good to see they're actually addressing it and kind of fixing it. Lethal poison has been added, and then it's been replaced. The standard poison has been replaced by lethal poison, so it's actually a nerf. Yes. Same models. Health has been increased. Again, almost 2,500. Leadership, that's all the same. Speed, slight increase up to 100. Melee attack has been increased up to 35 from 32, but again, and because of the poison changes, it's actually a nerf. Melee defense down to 20. Weapon strength and charge bonus is exactly the same. They have been given Strider, and that's it. Not a lot of changes to those lovely ladies. I guess I didn't need them, they were really powerful anyway. Right, we're up to the big boy Cav now. Armored and shielded, armor piercing. They have been given lethal poison, which is actually a buff for them, and they've been given murderous mastery. Very nice. Their numbers have been reduced down to 23 from 36. Sorry, although their health has been increased to almost 10,000 from 4,000. Massive buff. Again, from the bronze shield up to the silver shield, 126 armor as well. It's the same. It's the same speed up to 70, 45. Melee attack plus that lethal poison, so that's a massive buff for them. Melee defense is identical. Damage has been increased up to 75 from 48, but again, a lot of that will come into effect that, there's less models, but, it's probably about the same amount of damage, actually. Charge bonus is up to 65 from 36, which is a massive bump for them. Missile resist, they can cause terror now. They have strong vigor as well, which is very nice, of course. Murderous Mastery is on them. Glory of the Witch King, which is a constant buff around them as long as they're not broken. 10% physical and 25% charge bonus. Wow, that's actually massive on top of that. Big change there as well. Nice. That's actually a really good cavalry unit now. Like, really good. Right, so we're looking at the Regiment of Renown version of the Doom Warlock. So we'll just compare it again to the standard Warlock. So we're looking at plus 10 leadership, plus 10 melee attack, plus 10 melee defense. And they've been given a Word of Pain, which is minus 30% accuracy, minus 44 attack, which replaced Soulbright, I think. Nope, both spells have been replaced. And they've been given Soul Stealer, which is actually a really, really good spell. That's actually quite a nice buff for them. Even Knights, right? Big boy Cav. This is Daddy Big Boy. That's what I'm calling it. It's actually, the models have gone from 23 down to 9, which kind of explains the minus 1500 health. But they have been given gold shields, plus 2 armor up to 128, plus 5 leadership, plus 11 melee defense, plus 50 damage. But again, that's still a lot to do with the actual units being reduced. Everything else down the bottom is the same, except for this. Ah, nice. So they get a staging buff. No, a compounding buff. Yep, that's what word I'm going to go with. So stage 1, 5 and 3. So physical resist 5, melee defense 3. Oh, the longer these guys are in combat, the better they are. Up to stage 5 and beyond, which is 15 melee defense, 25% physical. Wow. They already got a physical resist from that thing anyway. Oh, that's a really good cavalry unit. No anti-large, though. It's anti-infantry, yeah. Still, that's a lot of damage, man. It's a whole lot of damage. Right, repeating crossbows. This is Missile Cav and Chariots we're up to. So, same models, yep. 2,500 more health, up to 6.3. Armor's up to 35, leadership up to 55, speed is up to 100, melee attack up to 27, melee defense slightly reduced down to 15, but it's kind of relevant. Weapon strength is up to 31 from 24, charge bonus is up to 40, or doubled, yes, doubled. Ammo, slightly more ammo, coming with 20, range is at 125, that's going to help them, and missile damage is at 55, which is actually a massive buff. Hell, that's massive. They've got missile resist now. They can also cause fear. A lot of these units are getting fear, we've been noticing. And they've also got the no mercy buff as well. It's a fairly decent unit now. Raven's Heralds, which is a regiment of renown flying. I actually really like this unit. We use it quite a lot. So 24 models, actually more models than what there is in the base, with more health to boot, coming in at 4.7. More armor, coming in at 35. Leadership up to 65. Speed is up to 125. Wow, that's fast. Melee attack 32 versus 25, and melee defense at 22 versus 25. Weapon strength at 31, so buff to his weapon strength as well. Charge bonus coming in at 30, so a slight buff there. Ammo, that's the biggest buff, coming with an extra 6. Sorry. Range is up to 125 and damage up to 122. Wow. Now, that doesn't sound like as big of a buff. I mean, it is, because it's over doubled. Yeah, it is over doubled damage, but on top of that, there's 6 extra models doing that damage as well, so it's actually a massive, massive buff to damage. They've been given, obviously, missile resist as well. They've been given hide, although they're a flying unit, so it's kind of irrelevant. And they've been given no mercy. And when I say irrelevant, I mean they can't make use of it because they can't hide in the damn forest because they're flying. Scourge Chariot. Let's go. One of the newer units as well. Yes. Armor piercing anti-large, very fast, all the same. Slightly more health, only an extra 800 or so, which is only slight for these guys. Leadership's identical, speed's identical. Melee attack is at +1, melee defense is at +2. Weapon strength identical, charge bonus same. Ammo, slightly more ammo, coming at 60 as opposed to 48. Range is identical. 138 damage versus 96. I've been given the missile resist, and I've been given no mercy as well. So not a lot of changes to them, but to be expected. Again, they are a new unit. Right, this guy's lost primal instincts as well. Been given way more health, almost an extra 2k. Armor, speed, identical. Melee attack up to 30. Melee defense up to 25. Weapon strength up to 50 from 44. Charge bonus up to 60. Ammo up to 48. Range up to 125. Damage up to 126. Armor piercing still. He has missile resist. They have strong vigor and no mercy as well on those boys. Nice. Right, Regiment of Renown. So we'll just compare that to the standard Scourge Runner. Again, there's not going to be a lot of changes to this one because, again, it is a new unit. So health's identical, leadership at +10, melee attack, melee defense +5 on each. Range is at 125, sorry, +25 up to 175. Missile damage is at +40, wow, up to 178. Plus he has, that's the scatter shot one, right? Yes, dagger shot, sorry. Bonus for large armor piercing, and he's got whatever this is. Barbed net. So minus 25% speed, minus 25% missile resist. Awesome. That's actually really good. That's really, really good. Right. Onto the monstrous stuff, boys. How are we going for time? We're at 47 minutes. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We're getting there, we're getting there. Right, harpies. Harpies! Not really a unit we use a lot, but so be it. They've been given bleed. Way more health, coming at 5k now. 15 armor. Leadership at 52. That's identical. Speed at 100. Melee attack up to 35 with the bleed. Up from 22. That's a massive buff to that. Melee defense has actually been reduced down to 35. Weapon strength has also been reduced down to 42 from 44. So yeah, it's in the ballpark, right? Charge bonus is identical. They have missile resist. They have strong vigor, and they have no mercy added as well. Nice. Manticore. So the Manticore causes terror. Yep. He's been given poison attacks. Nice. And no forest penalty, so he doesn't take a penalty if he fights in the forest. Health has been increased to 5k, which is quite substantial. Armor's been doubled as well, up to 90. Leadership up to 60. Speed up to 95. He's got flaming poison damage. Nice. Melee attack is the same otherwise. Melee defense is up to 40 from 34. Damage up to 500. Charge bonus up to 60. Got a lot of buffs going on down the bottom here, mate. Physical resist becoming at 10. There's a fire resist of 10% as well. He is now a C. No, you always had that. Had that. Strong vigor has been added. Can hide in the forest. Strider and bolster armor. Nice. Quite a big buff to him, eh? So Regiment of Renown of the Harpies, again we'll just compare it to the standard unit of Harpies. 10 leadership, 10 speed, plus 5 melee attack, and ward save 20%. Wow. And regen, yeah, nice. They have that now anyway. Yeah, nice. War Hydra. Nope, that's not it. That's it. Right. Fire Breath, that's all the same. Health is up to 7.5 from 7. It's a high health unit anyway. Armor's actually been reduced to 50. Speed's identical. Melee attack up to 55, 52. Again, ballpark. 25 versus 26 on defense. Weapon strength up to 750, but he's lost his armor piercing contingent. Actually, probably hasn't. 440 is the standard. Let's have a look. Still got 200 armor piercing damage, so not terrible. He has Hydra replenishment. Nice. So replenishes hit points, but is weak to fire. Regen. Hit points less than 50%. Replenishes hit points of components. Another takes its place. I don't quite understand that one. He also has fire. No, fire breath is normal. So that's normal, right? That's been added. Yeah, so it's just constant regen. Nice. Yep. However you pronounce that one. So 9k, so an extra 2k health, extra armor coming in at 80, extra leadership coming in at 70. Speed's actually been reduced though. He's got 50 melee attack down from 55. They replace poison with toxic venom to deals 15 damage to 3 entities in a unit per second. That's the first time I've come across that. Melee defense is at 35 as opposed to 30. Damage has actually been reduced down to 450, and charge bonus is the same. And everything else, he's been given physical resist, but everything else is the same. So, judging whether that's a fairly well balanced unit, or at least the guys think it is. Right, so comparing the War Hydras to the Regiment of Renown, we're looking at 1500 extra health, 10 leadership. He's got frostbite attacks. Which is minus 40% speed. He does, however, lose 5 melee attack for the purpose, for the process, for the gift, for the something of getting that. Plus 10 melee defense. Loses 100 damage, although most of that's armor piercing. Yep, so it's actually, because he's got 200 armor piercing, is it 250 armor piercing? So 6 of 1 really. Charge bonus at 35, and he has, so you got the frost breath, plus he has the regen. Not a lot of changes between those two. Right, the Black Dragons. We are looking at an extra 2,000 health. We are looking at 5 extra leadership, 100 speed versus 90, 55 melee attack versus 46. Plus we have Discourage, which is a debuff of minus 12 leadership. Melee defense coming in at, it's actually been reduced, sorry, down to 45 from 50. Damage has been increased up to 600, and charge bonus has been increased up to 70. He also has fire resist at 5%, magic resist at 15%, physical resist, missed that, at 20%. That's it. Nice, that's a good buff for him. The only problem with dragons is they just die so fast, right? That's like their biggest problem. Right, we're looking at the Medusas now. Again, another new unit, so I wouldn't expect a lot to have changed here. We're looking at 400 extra health. Leadership, armor is the same. Speed slightly faster, coming at 65. Melee attack is up at 40. Also been given poison attacks. It's quite a big buff. Melee defense at 30, down from 34. Weapon damage up to 400 from 390, almost identical. Charge bonus is increased up to 60. Ammo slightly more, coming with 20. Range is at 125. Extra damage plus a disrupt. So if you try and cast with one of them around, you're in trouble. 416, which seems like an odd number, but so be it. Physical resist has been added as well. Very nice. So again, Regiment of Renown Medusa. It's just starting to rain, and I can't recall when it's raining, so we're going to get through this, boys. We've got 2 units to go. Right, so standard Medusa versus Regiment of Renown Medusa. So we're looking at plus 10 leadership, plus 10 melee attack, plus poison has been replaced by flaming attacks and an on-fire debuff, which is minus 20% speed, plus 15% weakness to fire, minus 10% weapon damage, minus 10% armor piercing damage. That is a debuff, of course. And 84 more damage. Nice. And whatever this is. A direct damage spell. I think they already have that, right? Of course, damage strong versus multiple. I think I got smashed by this the other day in one of my campaigns. Wiped out like 2 of my units. It was crazy. I was like, what the hell is that? It was so good. Right, Reaper, Bolt Thrower. Let's go. use another 2,000 health. Not that they really need it. It's kind of range, but whatever. Speed's been increased. Melee attack's been increased. Melee defense has been increased. Weapon strength up to 31. Charge bonus is 5. Ammo, which is more the ones we care about down this end. 29 ammo, so as opposed to 24. Range is the same. Damage has been increased dramatically up to 416 from 151. Wow, that's a massive buff. That's all the same. And they've been given no mercy as well. Right, Medusa. Are we comparing to the Medusas, or are we going to... Oh, jeez, that's massive. It's a Medusa on a shrine, essentially. Let's compare to a standard Medusa, because it is like the next level of them, I suppose. So 700 more health. Armor is at plus 50. Leadership at plus 15. Speed a lot slower because they're on a shrine. Melee attack is a lot worse, coming in at 25. It's kind of useless. But they do have Manders of Cain, which is the rampage causing ability. Minus 5 on the melee defense. Minus 200 on the weapon strength. Minus 20 on the charge bonus. Plus 5 on the ammunition. 125 range. 416 damage is all standard, but you don't really take them for that. You take them for these bottom two things. The debuff and the buff. That's basically why you take one of these. Measure resist is new, yes. Fire while moving is also new, but I guess these other guys can't actually fire. Yeah, they can. Can't really fire while moving though, right? And our last dude is a Manticore lure, but we've already done that. And that brings us to the end. How did we do? 56 minutes and 21 seconds. I'm happy with that, boys. I'm happy with that. Under an hour. That's what we targeted. We got it. We got it. We got it. Hopefully I wasn't too fast going through all that stuff. I know, like, we just recorded an hour, and I'm saying I hope it wasn't too fast, but that's a lot of stuff to get through in an hour. So hopefully you guys were able to keep up. I didn't try and skip too much or something. You missed out on one, Marathi. I'll probably put her thing up during the editing process and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Some nice changes coming out for the Dark Elves within the mod, of course. I wouldn't say there's as many changes as what there was for like Lizardmen or whatever like that, eh? Or Greenskins for that matter. We haven't actually done a unit one for Greenskins. We kind of need to do it like this kind of level. But that kind of indicates to me that the developers of the mod, anyway, at least think that the Dark Elves are kind of balanced because, yeah, again, not a heck of a lot of changes actually to the units themselves, but it is what it is. All right, boys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, remember to hit that like button. It really does help the channel out. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.